I'm Supermoon Tarot, and in today's video, we're going to be going over all 12 Zodiac signs. I'm super excited about this too because I've actually been looking deeper into the Zodiac signs in the Akashic records, and well, look forward to some more information on that. I'm very excited about that. In addition to that, I wanted to let you guys know I was recently on my friend's podcast, Lionheart Leo. She is exquisite, talented, beautiful, and just a wonderful human being you guys should definitely check out. In the link in the description below is a link to that podcast. It was just a really fun time. We talked about spirit guides, intuition, all that wonderful jazz, tarot, of course. I talked about how I got into tarot and some tips and tricks with it. So please go check that out. You're going to absolutely love it and love her. Now, all you have to do is go down to the description for your zodiac sign. This could be sun, moon, rising. This could be for you. This could be someone you know or care about, or I don't know, you don't like them. I love when people in the comments below let me know that they checked out someone else's zodiac sign too. I think that's always super fun. So just letting you know those options are available and they're in the description below. But let's get started with our very first sign, Aries. Aries, let's see what's going on by looking at the cards. We have Four of Cups upright, Seven of Pentacles upright, and Knight of Cups in reverse. I'm already getting vibes here. Give me a second to look at this. Okay. Let's first start off with the Knight of Cups in reverse. Somebody is trying to get your attention, but they don't have the best intentions or your best intentions in mind. Double checked, this can either be romantic or friendship. Can this be family or coworker? No, solid no. Okay, so this could be a good friend trying to hang out with you, or technically not a good friend, and I'll be clear in a second why. Or this could be someone kind of, they're cute. They think you're cute. They're letting you know, and they're just trying to, it's you diverting your life's focus, wherever your focus is. And I am being told this does evolve the entirety of both your career, your day-to-day schedule, your mindset, how you approach life, your routine. We're going to kind of simplify it as. And you sort of diverting from that and spending all your time texting them and wanting to talk to them and that type of thing. Well, they don't have your best, they really are not in the long game with you. They're just kind of doing it to sort of boost their morale and feel good. This is going to sound harsh. They do think you're great, but they're just kind of getting what they can get and enjoy and benefit from, rather than being like, yeah, you're really great, and I want to spend the rest of my life with you, and I want this to become more serious, and I think of you as such a good friend, I'll be there for you forever. They're like, I'm being with you now because I'm vibing this right now. And you really don't want to have your attention pulled away, especially when we have the Seven of Pentacles, but I understand because of the Four of Cups. So in the Seven of Pentacles, this is you living your life, like we talked about, your daily routine. This is anything from, you're just getting your errands done for the day, you're going to work, how you're approaching it. But here's the important thing. When we have a Seven of Pentacles, it implies that you don't really notice a lot of difference in the day-to-day routine. You just kind of feel like it's humdrum. You're not really quite sure if you're exactly working towards anything. It's fine. I can see by the Four of Cups showing me it's kind of boring for you right now. It's a little stale. This is exciting. This is different. This is nice. But the Seven of Pentacles implies, and it was a double confirmation from my spirit guide, that you're actually doing phenomenal. But sometimes when we're on the correct path in life and we're doing exactly what we need for our spirit and the long-term sense of our happiness, it isn't always filled with passion and exhilaration. And this is a big thing, and it has not yet shown you a sort of reward or award for how successful or what a good job you're doing. So because you haven't gotten that promotion yet, you haven't been told exactly to your face the recognition of what you're doing. You know, you haven't even seen in your own personal time the exact result. You're not fully aware of like how well you're doing in your healing and you're taking care of yourself and enjoying life. You're not really seeing the results yet. So right now you're just kind of like, I don't know, this seems more exciting. I think I'll give my attention over there. But the Seven of Pentacles says, even though you don't see that reward yet, you're actually you're like right there. You're almost, just keep going, keep staying the course, keep staying the routine, because it is adding up and it is going to add up. And this is a confirmation that it will happen. Is it going to be soon or a little bit? Okay, they said, my spirit guide said a little bit, but not that long, like maybe a month of you're going to really notice the effect of everything. And they did make it clear that it is the entirety of your life, of just like, you know, when you work on affirmations every day, when you make an extra effort to be like a good person, when you're taking extra effort in your career, the whole shebang, which is great. But you want to kind of stay away from this, because this person is going to derail you. You're going to start to lose focus. You're going to lose that momentum you're unknowingly building. So just some things to keep in mind. I'm not saying you can't enjoy someone contacting you, but definitely put that on the back burner. I'm just double checking my spirit guides if you should cut them out completely. And they said, you just put them on the back burner. You know what I mean? It's not a huge deal if you keep talking to them, but definitely give your life more attention and focus. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. Always let me know in the comments below. Like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. I'm wishing you the best, and let's get ready for Taurus. Taurus, let's look at your cards. We've got Ace of Cups upright, King of Cups in reverse, and Two of Cups in reverse. Let me look at this. Oh, cool. I love when hard work is rewarded. Okay, this is great. So let's talk about, we have a lot of compliments to talk about here, because you are highly emotionally intelligent. But it's very common that the most intelligent, whether that be emotional or logical or being able to work with their energy, you run into some hiccups because you're almost too self-aware. But this is actually going to work in your to your advantage. So over here we have an imbalance with the Two of Cups in reverse. This is specifically, my spirit guide said this is specifically revolving around your shadow self and your light self. Quick review, your light self is, the best part of yourself, believing things, wanting the best for other people, feeling love, happiness. Shadow self is anything like jealousy, anger. These aren't things to repress, and in this particular case, it is not about repressing it. My spirit guide says it is about giving both sides equal amount of attention. It's not about repressing one. In fact, in the pursuit, sometimes when we are trying to improve ourselves, we can accidentally do that. That's a super common, normal thing. Or maybe you're really diving into your shadow self. You're not afraid. You're trying to do that shadow work and learn about why are you reacting the way you do when these feelings and emotions pop up. And it's about tuning into that. And sorry, I'm getting lost in my words for a second. You might find yourself diving into it too much, and you're almost kind of caught in that cycle of too much thinking yourself as broken or something's wrong with you, and constant healing, and never allowing yourself to have like, hey, I took some time to write in my journal and figure out why I had that emotion the other day, but then I totally gave myself props and enjoyed a cup of coffee and just smiled and looked out the door. It's about giving both attention, not too much, on one side or repressing one. So this is something to keep in mind. This is super important and going to be very easy for you when we have a King of Cups in reverse. And this will help better understand what you're kind of going through right now. My spirit guide said this is when you, especially in your case and scenario, King of Cups is someone who is the master of their emotions. They're extremely intelligent, again, not to be redundant, emotionally intelligent, and they are able to really identify these emotions and label them and go deep. So this is why your shadow self and light self is becoming so prevalent. It's matching. You're like ready to go into this type of work or look into it, but it is about finding the mastery of how to handle that. You can identify it, you can ask those questions, and you can even balance it, but it's about finding that balance in it. But when you are off and you are the King of Cups in reverse, this is when you're, the way my spirit guide is explaining it in this particular case and scenario with this reading is very reactionary in your emotional response unexpectedly. So this is like somebody, like you have a friend, two friends are in front of you, and one of the friend is like, hey, do you want to hang out, to the other friend, and you don't get invited, and your inner gut response is like jealousy and frustration, and then like self-loathing, and maybe you're insecure about what's happening, and maybe normally you wouldn't be, and it's like the first kind of like worst thoughts you can have in a situation, and you're almost have this self-reflective moment where you're like, whoa, where did that come from? Okay, what's going on with me lately? That sort of emotional turmoil where you're both self-aware enough that it's happening, but it feels like you're not in control. This will help you get in control. And then I'm very happy to say that all that hard work of like paying attention to yourself, and I want to reclassify this shouldn't feel like work. This should be more of a, just like a taking hold of the reins. You kind of want to turn off your brain and enjoy the ride. So sometimes you're paying attention to when you're having that reaction and taking a second to identify it, label it, be like, oh, I'm coming out of a distrust issue. Okay, I'm going to try to trust more. And then the next second, giving yourself props, turning off your brain, having a good time, being silly, and enjoying those parts of yourselves too. It should be relaxing and seamless, but you get the vibe and what we're talking about. But anyway, from doing that work, I'm happy to say there is a new relationship popping up with the Ace of Cups. This work is leading to this. And I double checked, my spirit guide said that the vast majority of the people viewing this reading, it will be a new friendship. And in some cases, it is romantic, but the higher percentage is a new friendship. And it seems like it's a pretty special one because tarot only talks about what's important and what's significant. And, we make our new friends here and there all the time, but clearly this person's, special enough. There's a kinship enough that it's an exciting thing. It makes sense that you would get yourself so emotionally even and in control to be with the Ace of Cups traditionally identifying a very emotionally open person, very trusting, very open. It's like you're building yourself up and preparing yourself to be as open as possible to get the most out of this friendship. So I'm really excited for you. That's really fun and cute. Please leave a comment, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. I'm wishing you the best. And let's get ready for Gemini. Gemini, let's look at your cards. We've got that's six? I know it's six. I'm a tarot card reader, come on. 6 of Pentacles in reversed, the Hanged Man in reverse, and 2 of Wands upright. Okay. Let me look at this. Okay, so in the 2 of Wands upright right over here, plans are being set in motion, my spirit guide said, which is really interesting because that's not really usually the theme of the 2 Wands. But the way my spirit guide puts it is that you've made plans, the intentions have been set out into the universe, and so even though you feel like you're chilling out and, putting, you're still in like that planning stage. You're just kind of like, I'm hanging out, I'm thinking about it, making sure I've got what I want moving forward is ready to go and all that jazz. Unbeknownst to you, The universe has heard what you want to happen. It's starting to happen. You can't see it yet. The magical steps, the things coming into alignment. It's like the best way to think of it this is like, let's say in order to get the thing done you want to have done, you need to talk to a certain person. Well, certain chain of events are lining up in order to bring that person into your life. So then you can meet them and then it makes the thing happen. You get what I'm saying. Well, as that's happening, you're going to be forced to take action in the Hangman in reverse. This is like, okay, I know you weren't ready, but now's the time. It's the perfect time. It's really interesting too because the Hangman upright, fun fact for other tarot readers and burgeoning tarot readers, is much more of a vibe of like, it's not the good time. It's nothing personal. It's a timing thing, not to be redundant. So you don't have to worry if you're doing something somehow wrong or irrelevant. You're good. It just is what it is. You're just not in control in this particular case and scenario. But in the Hangman in reverse, it's almost like you're at the edge of like, what is it called? Bungee jumping or something like that. And you're like, I'm not ready. And someone just like pushes you and you're like, too bad. We're going. It's that type of thing. But it doesn't mean that you're not prepared. We already see that you are, which is fantastic, that confirmation. But it just might mean that I know you feel like you're not ready and you need to take some more time, but too bad, we're moving forward. I did try to ask my spirit guide more, and be like, what is the it? Because I was like, is it an it or they're just going to be inspired? And they were like, no, it's an it. And I was like, what's the it? And they were like, not important. Kind of gave me a little expression of like, you don't get to know. So it's an it. Keep that in mind. That could be anything from getting an unexpected opportunity. And so you're just kind of like, okay, now it's time to, we have no choice. It's time to take this opportunity. It's not going to pop up again. Or suddenly you are put in a position where if you don't make the decision, you'll be without, you know what I mean? So anyway, over here with the Six of Pentacles in reverse, my spirit guide basically says that now is the time to pull back from helping people and giving out your energy to others. So essentially, this kind of, it's interesting that this is popping up. It seems like this must be an inclination for you to like, maybe it could be anything from like entertaining people to wanting to be kind of that person they can go to for advice and stuff like this. This would be a good time to just say, hey, I don't have time right now, because you want to put all your energy and everything into this concept coming into motion because it's happening. You did the right thing. I know you might not feel like you're ready, but you planned correctly, you put the intention out correctly, and everything's perfectly lining up. It's almost this feeling, and this is just something to contemplate. Sometimes, we want things, we want to manifest, and then it presents itself and we ask ourselves, why weren't we ready to receive? Like, didn't we want this? Why aren't we more ready? And that's not a criticism or anything like that, but it almost feels like you're learning the lesson, so to speak, of being like, okay, well, you're going to learn to be open and receiving in order to receive faster. I know that sounds like a weird thing, but that's an actual skill and ability in the manifestation process I don't hear enough people talk about. And so it's kind of like a good example of this is like wanting something and then you get to a certain moment and you self-sabotage and you're like, why did I do that? I didn't know I had this, issue I needed to work through. It's kind of like that, except this is not about self-sabotaging. This is about and excitedly learning how to be ready to receive all your dreams coming true. So who doesn't love that? Please leave a comment, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and let's get ready for our next sign, Cancer. Cancer, let's see what's going on with you by looking at the cards. We have the Moon card upright, Six of Wands upright, and Eight of Wands upright. What? Oh, sorry, I'm getting as much information as I can to make sure everything's cool. Okay. Okay, good. I'm just, okay. My spirit guide said a phrase that I was like, what? I wanted to double check that this was, you're going to be pumped about the information. I mean, if it is negative, I will always pull more cards. We'll have a discussion how you can turn it in your favor, but that's not the case. Everything's good, but I just wanted to get all the information. So thank you for giving me a moment. So, Eight of Wands upright. A wonderful opportunity is going to be coming your way, and very quickly. But here's the interesting thing. So first, I don't know if I'd call this an opportunity. I guess it's like an opportunity. My spirit guide's like shrugging. They're like, yeah. It's more like you're given a form of recognition, but it's like a big one for being like, you've done a great job. Could this be a promotion? They said, yeah, it can be. But can it also be something like more low key? More. Okay. So my spirit guide said there is a wider range of people watching this video that will get more of like everyone acknowledging how talented you are, or like, you've worked so hard. And once this has been, you've achieved this either promotion or big recognition, which is awesome within itself, this is when the opportunity is being presented. So it's like being given promotion, and then an even more higher up person is like, well, we see how capable you are. We want to give you this business trip that will enable you to learn more information in the field you're in, and so that will make you even more valuable. It's like someone seeing like, man, you work so hard, and someone reaching out from like maybe another career or something like that. Is this mostly career based? Okay, mostly it is. My spirit guide said mostly it is, but in some cases it can be like not career based necessarily, but like not romantic, whatever the in between would be. You get what I'm saying here. Anyways, the point is this opportunity is coming up. But here's where I was like asking questions, and I was like, what? So you're going to be learning a lesson once you have received an opportunity. And they said that in the moon card, this is a traditional meaning, but this is the words my spirit guide said. They said, this opportunity isn't what it seems. Not all that glitters is gold. And I was like, what? I was like, that doesn't sound too good. So everything's going to be okay. I double checked. You are going to have a wonderful time and have a nice experience, and it will ultimately be a good thing. And I don't mean a good thing as in like, yeah, that was not a great experience, but I'm better off for it. It's overall going to be a very positive experience as a whole. But can I go a little more in depth, or do they need to learn this lesson on their own? Yeah. Okay, I'm getting permission. So the energy that I'm picking up is it's that kind of situation where, like, let's say you get this opportunity and you're really scared that what you have to offer, again, we're using career-based metaphors here. Let's say you're like, oh, I don't know, everyone else seems like they're more skilled in the field we're all in than me. I don't know. And then you go there and you get this opportunity to do this like workshop, course, thing like that. Oh, I'm being told that's a thing for a lot of people. Did I hear you correctly? Yes. Okay, cool. So, that's interesting. And then you get there and you're like, wow, this is so easy. This is what, not to be rude, but it's like, this is what passes for this thing? Oh, wow. Oh, okay. I guess I can do this. If this is the top field of what I'm being sent to, maybe I'm much better at doing this than I realized. And it's more than just giving yourself credit, but learning to not hold opportunities and other people's positions and fields and skills on such, my spirit guide's like pointing at me and going like, yeah. On such a pedestal that you start to put yourself below it and kind of almost, I don't want to say like worshiping it, but seeing it as like impossible to reach. That's how I want to put it. So it's interesting because overall it's like a positive thing that you're gonna get recognition or a promotion, and then you're gonna get another opportunity right after that. It's just kind of like a domino effect of success. But there will be an interesting experience where it won't just be like totally wonderful, amazing. You'll be like, I'm kind of bored, or like, I mean, it was a nice time, people were great, but wow, I mean, I guess this was I guess I know more than what I realized I knew. Like, cool. So overall, like a really positive thing. But definitely when things aren't as they seem, you still have to dig deeper into that idea when you're experiencing it. So keep that in mind when you're having this opportunity presented to you. So very cool, very positive. As you can tell, I ask all the questions. I'm not going to just leave you hanging. And please feel free to leave a comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, also leave a like. It helps out so much. And let's get ready for our next sign. What is it? It's Leo. Let's get ready for Leo. Leo, let's see what's going on with you by looking at the cards. We've got Justice card in reverse, Six of Wands upright, and Seven of Wands upright. Give me a moment to look at this. Okay. Well, this is all important and valid. So, overall, it's very positive, but there are some things to keep in mind. So, Six of Wands, this is like our crowning jewel and overall a really positive and wonderful thing. It talks about it being just a really good time for you. If you're wanting success, like now is the time you're getting that recognition, really being kind of held up. Your likability factor is very strong. Things are just working out for you. Can this be financial success too? It can. I feel like there's my spirit guide feels like they're saying something else. Things will work out more easily for you. Sorry, just making sure. Actually, I shouldn't apologize. I'm getting all the information. So overall, wonderful. You're going to be definitely like held up and definitely appreciated, as we talked about. And we're talking about, can this be love too, or is this more career? It's more career based. Okay. But here's the however. There's two things kind of working against you at this time period simultaneously that don't need to be, and you can become aware of them and then essentially enjoy the fruits of your labor in their entirety. So one, there is the potential, I wouldn't even say potential, like there is the potential to want to engage in people that are pushing back. Now, to be clear, if it is necessary that somebody is kind of pushing and prodding you and you need to be like, hey, listen, guess what, and set some boundaries, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But when you are kind of held up to such a high stature, you're going to simultaneously have people that are like, oh my gosh, this is so great. I'm totally in support of you. And then you're going to have the occasional, hater, so to speak. And, and there's the desire to be like, hey, guess what, hater? This, and this. And right now it's not. You don't need to engage with them. You're going to just be signing up for a lot of unnecessary energy being burnt and your attention being redirected from the enjoyment of all your success and good things putting your way. And keep in mind, when you're kind of riding this type of glory, maybe that's too big of a word, but this would be a good time to launch things, put stuff out there. Like, people are going to engage and be down with what you have to offer. If you're not doing that and you're spending more of your time, being like, hey, listen to this, I don't agree with this, and kind of being like, well, listen to this, and making your points, you're going to really, you're not going to be setting, launching those things, putting those things out there. So don't do that. Just kind of let it all fall to the wayside and don't give it attention. Now, in the Justice card in reverse, there are two main factors, again, that we want to keep in mind. One is it's not fair. I don't really feel like that's going to be the exact wording, but it's the idea that you're going to feel. This sensation of seeing when, even though ironically, you're going to have your own success, there might be other people who didn't have to work as hard for it. Or you see that somebody else did really, really well. And there's that feeling of like, this isn't fair. And you're going to have to kind of keep this idea in mind and being like, you can't lose yourself in that mantra. You're again pulling away from success that other people might be thinking the same thing about you and wishing, it's not fair. They wish they had your success and that type of thing. And again, this is a sort of inner thing that pulls you away from the enjoyment of this. But also, there is a sort of linking, how do I say this? These two things go hand in hand. It's not a coincidence that you might have this feeling when you look at other successful, people, that your mentality is the belief that if you do a certain amount of hard work, you will get a certain kind of result. And you're going to have to kind of let that go, honestly. Do they need to let it go, like, in its entirety? Okay, so the answer is no. You don't have to give up working hard, but you do need to stop thinking if you do X amount of hours of work, it will get you X amount of, attention, money, whatever it is you're doing in your particular field, whatever. And now is the time to just be like, what I've done is enough. What I've done is enough. You can work hard because you like working hard. Some people like working hard, but you need to sort of like lose that mantra if you only did a little bit of work and be like, yep, that's enough. I can do a little bit and get a lot. That's your new mantra. I can do a little bit and I can get a lot. Because that's where you can see how it kind of goes hand in hand if your mentality was like, oh, why did they only did this and they got all of this? But I'm happy I'm having success, but I feel like I'm doing all of this and I'm not getting that. Do you see what I'm saying? And I want to be clear, I'm not picking up the vibe that you're like whining or anything like that. It's just like little tiny thoughts that are maybe existing in a different verbiage, but are still kind of there in essence. We're talking about the essence and idea that's being encompassed here. You get what I'm saying here? So overall, it's very positive. I see all this like success and likability and reward, and now's a good time to like put ideas and projects out there and get people interested and build up momentum. And you're going to receive it back, enjoy, but don't get lost in the background fodder is the best way I'd like to put it. So yeah, please leave a comment, a like, a subscribe, hit that notification bell. I am wishing you the best. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. And let's get ready for our next sign, Virgo. Virgo, let's see what's going on by looking at the cards. We've got the Fool card in reverse, 10 of Swords in reverse, and 3 of Cups in reverse. Okay. 10 of Swords in reverse. Wow, interesting. Ooh, my like face and like third eye are like buzzing like crazy. Okay, is this psychic? For some. Okay, cool. So let's get into this. This is a really fun and interesting one. So the 10 of Swords in reverse, there appears to be something that doesn't work out, but it will be a really positive thing. When this card is in reverse, it is similar to the vibe of like you dodged something really bad. It could have not turned out, and we're talking like serious, like pretty bad, and it worked out for the better. But and this is really good to hear sometimes when you're like, oh no, but I really wanted to like be with that person, and then you find out like they're not a good person, like on a really bad level, or like, oh, I really wanted that job, and then you learn like the job doesn't really pay that well and it's really hard. We're going with that type of idea here, and so yay, that's a good thing, you avoided something bad. But from it is this it's really interesting. I mean, yes, when this is upright, this imagery of this car has a third eye. This is why I was asking about if it's psychic, and it is. But in reverse, the first thing I was, just popped in my head and my spirit guide said this is correct, is that this third eye, the little like outline of it kind of almost looks like a spider. That was like the first thought of mine. And they were like, correct. And they said that this is representing in this particular reading the idea of inner power popping up. This is the type of inner power where you're like burgeoning to be aware of it. You're just starting to be aware of it and come into it. And we're talking about the type of inner power where you really are aware of what you have to offer and what you can do, and taking full certainty and, reins of it and using it to your advantage, and really finding like other people can't mess with your energy. Things just work out better. And there's this really deep sense of like, I'm in it. I'm in the flow. I know what I'm doing. I'm confident about it, and I feel really good, and I'm realizing who I am, and I'm really like in touch with that type of thing. So again, that sense of inner power popping up. It appears this pops up. So it's like, yes, something that at first you want to work out and it doesn't work out, like, oh no, it doesn't work out. But then your like sort of reward is this inner power burgeoning into. That's why I asked if it's psychic, not only because of the imagery, because sometimes inner power is associated with like psychic abilities, but also and intuition, all that jazz. We're talking about the same thing, but also being like letting things work out in your favor and be so in tune with the universe feels very psychic. So that's why I was like asking. That idea gets repeated over here in a way with the Fool card. Now the Fool card is actually being read upright, but it is heading towards our Ten of Swords because it implies that this helped you get there, and this will be something you want to continue going forward. And what do I mean by that? The Fool card, when it is upright, and again, this is how we're reading it, implies somebody who sets, a goal in mind. They want to get somewhere, but they are really free-spirited as how the journey unfolds. So they really don't think about all the little detailed nuances and steps that need to take place in order to make it happen. They're really willing to let all the options and paths be available to them. Things work out easier because they're not so controlling of what the next thing needs to happen. And here's the big thing. They just have blind trust. And because they're so like, oh, yep, everything's going to work out for me. I don't know how, but I just know it is going to. They have a lot more fun and get more out of it in synchronicities and experiences and enrichment and knowledge and in like epiphanies. And they just basically have a really great time and really learn to kind of ride the wave of like being in the flow. Again, we talk about that idea. That's what I was saying. It's repeating of a concept. So that got you to a place where kind of following what you felt like doing next, even though you didn't think you knew what was going on, but you've set an intention of where you want to go. The right things fell into place naturally based on this attitude that prevented you from going into a situation you would be unhappy with, and you were meant to miss that opportunity, and things were meant to unfold in that way to not only prove to yourself that you're doing great and you are protected no matter what. So you're like, oh, I'm showing myself like I'm so in the flow, I'm going to protect myself, I'm building even more trust in my process. But also that trust and that belief in yourself is that inner power being rewarded, and you got that inner power from this attitude, and you should take on that attitude going forward, and it's working for you essentially. Now, the Three of Cups is kind of a random one, but my spirit guide said that you should beware of having too much pleasure or indulgence in life right now. Like, don't overdo it. So like, that's great if you want to, like, a good example is like, you want to take some time and just take care of yourself, have like a day off. But there is a point where maybe you're watching so much Netflix that you're not even like into what you're watching anymore, and you're just sinking into the couch. You can't even like blink or think or anything. And it's like that type of idea. Is that correct? I'm just asking my spirit guide. Yes. Okay, good. So yeah, just a side one-off, just something to keep in mind right now. But other than that, get excited about all that and just be aware of this. So please leave a comment, a like, hit that subscribe button, notification bell, helps out so much. I'll see you in the next one, and let's get ready for our next sign, Libra. Libra, let's look at what's going on by looking at the cards. We've got the Fool card in reverse, the King of Cups in reverse, and the Queen of Swords upright. Yeah, super self-aware. Interesting. I'm going to get some more details, but like this, with this being the remedy, just makes complete sense. Let me just look at everything. Okay. So let's, there's some exercises we're going to be practicing and some things we should be aware of, but it is all good and it is compliment city. So first, let's start with the Queen of Swords. Now is the time to have some pretty open, honest conversations with yourself. But here's the interesting thing. This isn't about having a discussion and like confronting yourself in a hard negative way to be like, hey, am I being like a good enough person? Am I working hard enough? It's not that at all. It's more of giving yourself credit where it's deserved. It's about being like really honest and being like really truthfully. You know, like, let's say someone has a skill and they always like kind of push it down on someone. And this is like being honest and being like, are you really that bad at it? Or are you like a lot better than you're giving yourself credit for? Being aware of that, connecting to that, and then receiving it. Because with the Queen of Swords being represented in this analogy, and my spirit guide saying this is the meaning of the card, I can see that you're somebody who's pretty authentic and truthful to other people, themselves. And so there's a certain level of building trust within yourself right now and being like, well, if I'm so authentic, then I need to start realizing and using that to my advantage in order to build up more of a trust within myself for myself. I'm sure you trust your own opinion when you're giving it to other people. You know you really mean it when you say it, but we're sort of using that to your benefit with you. And also it seems like you're in need of a little bit of a pep up, especially when we have the blockage popping up in the Queen of Cups. It's a little difficult right now. Sorry about that. It's a little difficult right now to connect to the Queen of Swords upright and take on this sort of self-evaluating mentality and connect to that right now. So the first thing you're going to want to do is pay attention to over here. My spirit guide said in the King of Cups in reverse, your emotions right now are more controlling you than you controlling them. The way they're explaining this scenario is it's because, again, the King of Cups normally upright is like a super self-aware, analytical person when it comes to their emotional intelligence. They're able to identify emotions, understand what that means, know what the root is, use it to their advantage. They're just really able to, they're in control, like I said. But when it's in reverse, because you're so smart, it's like, so something pops up and the emotions pop up. And so you're still trying to handle it in a pretty healthy way and evaluate it and pay attention to it. But because your emotions are in control, instead of taking sort of that mentality where you're like, okay, I got to look at this or view this, it's almost like you're like, okay, that means this. And you're sort of reacting. You're still evaluating and approaching it in a healthy way and trying to, but it's the reactionary sort of jump to conclusions, overly harsh to yourself, is the part where your emotions are taking control. And so if you are evaluating your emotions, being this self-aware of how you're feeling and doing, if your reaction to these emotions are these very quick, like, I'm not doing well enough, yeah, but I gotta get over this, oh my gosh, when is this gonna end, that type of thing, that's when you need to connect to yourself and go, whoa, 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 my emotions are clearly in control. I need to slow it down, remember that I'm someone who's totally capable of being able to figure this stuff out, and slow down, write in a journal, evaluate it like you normally would if you were in a better mindset. And with all of that in mind, once you kind of get a little more of a lockdown on that, you will be able to better receive and connect to that truthful conversation you have with yourself, where you basically become compliment city and are able to build off of that. Because remember, the more you trust your own opinion of yourself, these type of people are like fantastic editors. And when I say editors, I'm not referring to someone who like edits videos or edits writing a paper. That's a given as well. I'm talking about when you are skilled at what you do, you have to be able to self-edit. You have to be able to look at what you're creating and not be overly harsh and know when something's good and you should put that idea out there and show your boss, show other people, or when you go look at yourself and you're able to be aware of being like, I just don't think that works for this situation, or that's not a good idea, and doesn't get lost in judging themselves, but is able to quickly make that evaluation and then move on to the next idea, essentially. So keep all of that in mind, that it's like once you're able to identify what you're good at, you can use that to nuance that skill, build it up, get even better. But like I said, very self-aware, self-analytical person. Now with our final card, this is the mentality you want to sort of take on to help you, give you a break, because you don't want to be so self-analytical. You're kind of lost in always evaluating your feelings. You do need a break from that. And this is sort of like a mantra that will be, I have a feeling, might initially be difficult to connect to, but you will get the hang of it, and it's something you should kind of carry moving forward. So the Fool card is really an interesting sort of antidote going on with everything. The Fool card is being read upright. It is more reacting to the King of Cups in reverse. It appears it's a good time for you to kind of just like not worry what's gonna happen next. That's great that you have your big goals or ideas in the long term, but now is a time to kind of take it day by day. Let's say you have this overarching goal where I'm trying to think of an idea. I don't know, you want to write a script for like a movie or something like that. Instead of worrying about all the little nuances over and over in your head, repeating, okay, yeah, I've got to edit that and do that, just wake up, work on the thing for an hour, and then turn off your brain, and the rest of the day see what happens next. This sort of free-spirited attitude with a clear intention of a goal, but letting the journey unfold in front of you, will allow inspiration to be brought back into the project and will only benefit it more. It will prevent you from getting so into your head that you don't work on something or you overwork on something. So it's definitely this pairing of sometimes turning off your brain and kind of like living life and going with the flow, as we're explaining. I actually have a whole video about being in the flow in my Spiritual Talks playlist. I highly recommend watching that. I get really specific about that idea and how to get into the flow and the 4 different kinds of flow. But also, I just think it's a really funny pairing with somebody who's clearly so good at, and in a weird way, still being told to still be in your mind. It's like a combination of being in your mind and being aware, but then also taking breaks. So please leave a comment, a like, a subscription, hit that notification bell. I'm wishing you the best. And let's get ready for our next sign, which is Scorpio. Scorpio! Let's see what's going on with you by looking at the cards. We've got 4 of Cups upright. Ooh, intense energy here. The Judgment in reverse and the Tower in reverse. Okay, give me a moment to listen to my spirit guide, because this is a pretty intense reading. Okay. All right, well, sometimes they're intense. Let's get into this. The energy with this one is like intense. Okay, I'm personally feeling like the energy has a lot of like resistance in it, so just try to keep an open mind when hearing this. So in the Tower in reverse, this talks about a long-standing issue coming finally to a head or ending, you know? We're talking about like personal inner work more. I double-checked if this is like something going on around you. This is like, I'm just gonna triple check. Yeah, okay, it's personal work. Okay, so this could be something that is like unconsciously, especially with the Tower card being in reverse, like unconsciously not helpful to you. So it's something like you don't give enough attention, you don't see as like necessarily detrimental, but when you do this thing or like encompass these ideas, you know, I'm trying to keep a wide spectrum here, you're not aware that it is not helping you. It's holding you back. It doesn't make you feel the best. It's not going to make your life better, bring more love into your life, bring more success. You get what I'm saying here. But I'm also happy to say that it is coming to an end, and it's been needing to for a little while, which is fine. So let's get into what it is, because it's actually very specific on what's over here and here. So the Judgment card in reverse is kind of wild. I've actually never heard this before. So when you do tarot reading, while each one is very nuanced and different, once in a while I'll get a particular reading or a message from my spirit guides that is just like, all right, I have never heard that before. So in the Judgment card in reverse, if you notice the eye, if I were to turn it upright or in reverse, it would look the same. And my spirit guide says, you are unchanging in your decisions, whether they are good or bad for you. Would I include others in this? Sometimes. So just let's more focus on you and like how it affects you. So the point is, now with it being in reverse, it looks like something not being the best decision being made. And this is sort of something to contemplate. It's a sort of abstract idea that if I could, I'd send you the vibration. I know that sounds very nuanced, but a lot of ideas that are complex, not complex to understand. Like when you're in it, you would get it. It's not, you're smart, like you would get it. It's just hard to find the wording. I think you mostly get what I'm saying with the lines that my spirit guide said. But if I could, I'd send you the vibrations, because when you're in the spirit realm, receiving complex vibrations is like, it's easy is what I'm saying. It would be much more easier. But anyways, so contemplate, like when you make choices, do you feel like you're unmoving? And then think about what were the results after those choices you made. How did it affect you later? Do you feel like when you look back, would you still make the same decision? We're not talking about purely like making bad decisions or making good decisions. It's about becoming more flexible and more self-aware. I apologize if this is like too personal, but I'm getting like a super strong fear reading. The type of fear that's so buried down deep that it's kind of like, oh my God, I feel like I'm gonna cry. I'm like really tapping into something. It almost feels like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna like cry. Sorry, I'm like, it's coming up. When it's so buried down deep that you're kind of like a stone wall, not like in personality, but like if I were to like, if this idea and subject would be brought up, you would just be like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. But it wouldn't take too much to like dig a little deeper and then like all of a sudden start crying and realizing how much you've been trying to keep this sort of fear at bay. So it feels like this non-moving sort of decision making, no matter what's happening around you and the effects are to you and stuff like that, are made out of trying to protect yourself. So one, give yourself some love there. You're just trying to take care of yourself. You're just trying to do what's best. But keep in mind, what are our first defenses to protect us for a certain amount of time are lovely and great, but after a while they can become a crux and hinder us from growing. And when I be clear about growing means getting to a point where you enjoy, like a good example is like maybe you have trouble trying new things, and growing would be like, wow, I'm so great that trying new things isn't a big deal for me because I no longer suffer from the anxiety of if a new thing pops up, like it's not a big deal for me anymore, that kind of idea. So that's one thing I'm happy to say seems like it's going to be, there's some sort of connection or moving ahead in that thing, and I'm so sorry that you've been struggling with this. It's really understandable why you're approaching certain decisions, but it's almost this feeling of like waking up. You know what I mean? The other thing is in the Four of Cups upright. This is, okay, this is going to again sound a little intense, but keep an open mind. The way my spirit guide said is being aware of when is it enough for you. That sounds kind of intense. What it means is when you're being given options in life and opportunity and help or whatever it is, it almost feels like it's not this vibe. This is going to be so hard for me to say. It's not a sense of greediness. I don't get that vibe. And it's not like you're unfeeling and you're like, nope, nothing's good enough, whatever, I don't care. It's not like that. But because these opportunities do seem very ample around you, but nothing's quite satisfying you, it's not so much that let me just double check real quickly. No, okay, I'm correct. Okay, I just wanted to double check. It's more that when you're connecting to something, it's not like, oh, well, you just need to find the right thing that's your passion. It's more asking yourself the bigger question, when is it enough? And sort of pulling back and allowing yourself to indulge in something that maybe isn't, again, it's that sense of, like we talked about, that rooted sense of like not moving, staying close, trying to protect yourself. Don't commit, don't get fully involved because it's safer here. Totally understandable. There's no judgment here. In fact, I want to give you a hug. I'm so sorry you're struggling with this. But by nothing being like quite good enough or like kind of hitting the T, you already know like you're missing out, and I'm gonna cry, my goodness. This is a very intense reading for me. You'd like to be involved. You'd like to get more enjoyment out. You'd like to be more connected to it. And so it's about contemplating that idea and really digging deep into like what will be the kind of answer, and the answer is more, again, not finding the right passion, but like, when am I going to like let my sort of walls down a little more, try it out? And again, it's not necessarily about trying new things. I mean, it might be for you. It's more the willingness to like let something in enough, because what your first reaction might be like, nope, I don't like that. But in reality, it's hitting a wall that you unconsciously have put there, and it hasn't even gotten deep enough into you for you to really like kind of assess like, wait, maybe I am kind of into this. Maybe this is kind of fun. And again, it's not about letting something in and the end goal being like pure passion. You'll find that along the way. But it's about everything, because you clearly are surrounded with so much opportunity. It's about finding such enjoyment in all those opportunities and being like, wow, I have such a great life, and now I'm really like enjoying the fullness of that life. So again, good things, but intense things. So please let me know in the comments below if you're okay. And if this was okay. I always want to approach these things with the most like tender of hearts, because I really do care, and I can just see somebody who deserves to be loved. So I hope you know that you are. Anyway, I'm getting emotional. So please leave a comment below, a like, a subscribe, hit that notification bell. I am wishing you the best, sincerely. And let's get ready for our next card reading with Sagittarius. Sagittarius, let's find out what's going on by looking at the cards. Page of Pentacles upright, King of Cups in reverse, and 9 of Swords upright. Give me a moment. Oh, wow. Okay. Sorry, I'm looking at everything. My spirit guide even said to speak very tenderly and softly to you, because this is you're a very intense, anxious place, and for good reason. When we have the 9 of Swords upright, this is normally I don't read it this intensely, but my spirit guide's telling me about it, and I'm feeling it and I'm seeing it. So the 9 of Swords is, just really intense, overwhelming emotions, anxiety, thoughts, that type of thing. That these reactions are not something in your head. They are, you're reacting to what's happening to you. King of Cups in reverse, somebody seems to be putting you in this position where they are just kind of wreaking havoc in your life. I asked if this has been going on for a long time, and for a lot of you, it's more of like as of late. But it's intense. My spirit guide does extra confirm this, but in the King of Cups in reverse, this person is just going through their own like personal issues and essentially projecting it on you. But it's intense. It's super intense. And we have a king. Oh my goodness. This is someone who's usually like really, they're so good at controlling their emotions that like if they're against you, they're just really good at that too. So it's intense. Would you say against or just projection? Just projection. Okay, well that's weirdly good. I know that's a weird thing to be good, but it's not personal. It's just they're trying to relieve their emotions somewhere. It's not fair and it's not appropriate and it's not cool, but I'm so sorry that you're going through that. I am really happy to say, however, that there is a wonderful opportunity that's going to pull you out of this circumstance in the Page of Pentacles. This opportunity will involve some form of studying, some form of learning something new. You'll be in that sort of study mode where whatever it is, it's more than just like a new job. It's like you have to go somewhere in order to develop your skills more or your knowledge or whatever in that kind of way. And it will pull you out of this circumstance for the most part or entirely. For a lot, entirely. Wow, that's awesome. That's actually how you're going to be able to identify it. It will involve some form of studying, and it will pull you out of this circumstance from this other person so you can get a break. I know this might not be helpful, but I'll just share it anyways. Understand that it isn't personal, that it is just projecting. Definitely do whatever you can to take some time to breathe and look forward to being pulled out of this circumstance in a fun, new, uplifting, and empowering way that will benefit you in the long run, especially when we have a Page of Pentacles. This is like a token of investment for the future, which is great. So it's a win-win, but I'm so sorry at this very moment there is this situation going on. But yeah, it is going to get better. It's going to get a lot better. So I'm really happy for you. Please leave a comment, a like, a subscribe, hit that notification bell. It helps out like you would not believe. And let's get ready for our next sign, Capricorn. Capricorn, let's look at what's going on by looking at the cards. We've got Knight of Pentacles upright, the Empress upright, the Queen of Wands upright, and interesting. Let me just look at the cards. I'm getting such a random assortment of information. Okay, so this is, I want to keep this in mind. This is a bit out of the blue, but with the Empress card, now this only applies if you are trying to have children, only. I just want to be absolutely clear, only if you are in the process of trying to have one. But in this circumstance, in this reading, you will get pregnant, which is very cool. Again, only if you want it and you are trying to seek it out. I asked if it was soon, and my spirit guide made it clear that it's more like you just will. So it's kind of that vague thing that like it might not be immediate, but soon enough. Not, sometimes it takes people a while. It's not going to be forever, which is cool. But now for the majority. So we've got a wonderful interaction going on here. With the Knight of Pentacles upright representing something that you've wanted for a very long time. I asked if this is something you've been working towards or wanted, and my spirit guide said both, I'm happy to say, is going to be coming to you. Again, this is relatively soon. They made it feel like it's still going to be like maybe a couple more weeks. Did I hear you correctly? Yes. Okay, I'm getting a head nod. Yes. So that's what they're doing. Or sorry, I was just looking at my spirit guide. I'm getting confused who I'm talking to. So that's what's happening. So it's still going to be a little longer, but I'm really excited to say this long-held wish and desire is coming to your way. And I'm even more excited to say that with it being paired with the Empress, once you have received it, this is how my spirit guide put it, a whole garden is going to bloom from receiving it. So it's like, maybe for a long time you've wanted the opportunity to be a graphic designer, and now you've finally gotten this job. You've worked towards it. It's been something you've been wanting for a long time. You finally got this job. It's come to you. But then in the long run, you end up being the type of graphic designer that's so super well known. You can be like independently making your own stuff and merch, and maybe you have your own graphic design company or advertisement that, you know what I mean? Like, it really like blooms from there. So not only do you get it, but it's going to keep growing and growing and growing. And I want to be really clear here, something that can be your mantra in the long run if you ever worry if you're doing enough, or if you're going to lose what you've earned or worked for, if there's some sort of fear mentality that sinks in. The Empress is abundant by default. She doesn't have to do anything but barely lift a finger and flowers bloom around her, just because that is who she is. She doesn't have to do things or be anything in order to have it happen. It's just going to happen because that is who she is. So let that be your inner mantra, that like your core is abundant. So there's nothing more you really need to do other than receive this wonderful thing you've wanted for a long time, and then enjoy in a very big way, I might add. I thought this was also kind of like out of the blue. The Queen of Wands, there is going to be an older female that you're going to want to receive value from. That's how my spirit guide put it. I asked the detailed questions. They are going to be at least 10 years older to you. So it doesn't matter your age, just add 10 years at least minimum. And I double checked. They said that in all accounts, which is super rare because with these general readings, there are like percentages I share, how like more common and like what places it would be in. But for all of them, my spirit guide's going again, like all, double clarifying and stuff like that. In all accounts, this would be someone you have not met yet. So you're going to meet them soon. When you meet them, they're going to be an older female, and they have some great value that you should receive from them. And again, this is very like vague speech because I was trying to get more, and my spirit guide just is keeping it super vague value. So this could be anything from mentoring to information to skills to opportunity, you name it. It could be anything, but it's gonna be really helpful to you. That's awesome. So just keep that in mind. I hope you enjoyed this reading. Please leave a comment, a subscribe, hit that notification bell. I'm wishing you the best. I look forward to seeing you next one. And let's get ready for our next sign, Aquarius. Aquarius. Let's see what's going on by looking at the cards. We've got 5 of Swords in reverse, the Empress upright, and 10 of Wands in reverse. This is such a chill one. Okay, this is going to be a relatively short one, essentially. So with the 10 of Wands, I'm very proud of you. You have started kind of finally giving back the responsibility that you normally, like maybe other people should be helping you, and you're kind of like giving it back to them and being like, I want to chill now. You go do your thing. I know normally you expect me to do this, but I'm not going to be doing this. A great example is like, let's say you're always the one that like cleans the house or something like that, and like turning to whoever like, you know, you live with, romantic or friendship or roommate or whatever wise, and being like, hey, I'm gonna let you do this now. I'm gonna go do my own thing. It's not like an angry thing, just to be clear. It's more just like a, hey, I'm just not gonna do this. I don't have to. I'm just gonna do my own thing. And if they're like, wait, but the house, and it's like, well, I mean, you can do it if you want, but I don't really care. And just kind of like really vibing and relaxing and feeling like a weight's lifted off your shoulder. It's very like de-stressing feeling. That idea continues with the Empress card. You're basically being told now's a good time to like go for a walk. A lot of your sort of inner chill and just feeling really relaxed is in nature. Lots of like hanging out outside in your backyard, or going for a walk or something like that. Just I don't know if I was like, my brain went to gardening, and then I was like, wait a minute, now's not like a good time to garden. But you get what I'm saying. It's just a good time to get in touch with nature. I mean, to be fair though, if you really want to like bring it up a notch, you could totally get like a cute little plant to bring into your house and like foster it and love it. That's always an option, but it's more of an outdoorsy type of vibe of like going outside. And then that idea just continues with the Five of Swords. In reverse, now is a good time, and you're going to want to try to actively concentrate on this, is to lose your inner competitiveness with yourself, with others. You know how we unconsciously all do this, like maybe initially something starts out as like a really relaxing thing, and before you know it, you're like oh, I think I'll get into this, and before you know it, you're like aggressively, you can't stop, you want to do more and more of it, you're starting to kind of keep count and stuff like that. Now it's a really good time to stop doing that. You're basically, it's not about stop doing the activity you're enjoying altogether, but if you find yourself counting numbers or be like, next one, take a second, take a break. Now's the time to just chill, go in the backyard for a second, and overall it's just a very relaxing, chill, not a big deal. Now's a good time to, give responsibility back to others and chill out and have a good time. So yeah, just a really relaxing tarot reading. Please leave a comment, a like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. I am wishing you the best. I look forward to seeing the next one, and let's get ready for our final zodiac sign, Pisces. Let's find out what's going on by looking at the cards. We've got the Lovers in reverse. Oh my goodness. The King of Cups in reverse and the Six of Wands upright. I'm not overreacting because the King of Cups is a big deal, but this card has been haunting like nearly everybody. Not everyone, that's an exaggeration, but like a lot of people in this particular zodiac reading. I'm shuffling the cards, but I just think that's so funny. Let me just listen to my spirit guides for one quick second. Okay, so this is fantastic. I love this. So let's first start with the Lover's card. It actually doesn't mean what you think it does. It actually represents loving oneself, but it's specifically about finding that inner love for yourself based on your female and your masculine energies. So you can look up like on Google to get like more of a clearer idea, but like, masculine energies is like directness, assertiveness, being very proactive, hands-on, that type of thing. And then females very like going with the flow, very, I don't know if passive would be a word, but like we could say like intuitive, subconscious, much more, creative, that type of thing. And just really kind of getting to know both of those sides of yourself with that clear intention and loving and just really enjoying all of those things. So it's like making a decision and realizing like that's a very like let's say you approach someone and tell someone like, hey, I'm not cool with this thing happening. That would be you being like, wow, that was like really like a masculine energy part of me, and I like did that so clearly, and like woot, go me. And then the next moment like doing a lovely drawing and being like, that was so feminine energy of me, like woot, go me, and like loving that and connecting to that. That's really helpful right now because currently you're suffering from a King of Cups in reverse situation. Normally it's like definitely emotional imbalance, but normally this shows me you're the person other people go to, and now is the time for you to be there for yourself, so to speak. But the cool thing about this is this sort of inner work and enjoying yourself, it's actually something you can do immediately and very easily, and just kind of don't get locked into it forever, but for temporarily, like, tune in when you do something. Would you define that as masculine or feminine? And really just kind of like taking a moment to reward yourself for that and connect to that and embrace that more often. And that will also make you aware of like, ooh, I'm really denying this like feminine part of myself. I don't like to look at myself in the mirror. I don't really like love the way I look or something like that. Or maybe you're having trouble with confrontation, and then you can be like, oh, I need to give this more love or give this more reward or whatever. Like give more credit where credit is deserved, which is fun. But all of that wonderful, beautiful hard work is adding up to the Six of Wands upright. I'm really happy to say that this is you're going to have a surge of a really strong likability factor from everyone around you. This is a really good time to like put stuff out there, let people know what you're about. People are going to get on board. And so it's not just only for your personal enjoyment, but if you want something to be fostered, whether this be like find a romantic partner or have a business success, when this pops up and you start to notice this sort of like everyone being drawn to you, this is the time to debut it. Everyone's going to be down with whatever you have to offer. But it's very much that idea where it's like you find that likability for yourself, and then in turn, everyone can find that likability much easier too, because you've connected to it personally. So really beautiful, very easy to do, just a lot of identifying and being kind to yourself and feeling connected to that, and just kind of, I definitely think that it adds an extra sense of pep in your day, and some great things to look forward to. Definitely keep this in mind when you're feeling everyone's really cool with you. This would be a good time to check in and go, what do I want right now? And it could be anything from a friend to a romantic partner to maybe you want a better relationship with your partner to something to work out in your career. That would be a good time to start like asking for things, wanting them, letting people know what you're about. Definitely check in with yourself when you start to see that happening. Please leave a comment below, a like, hit that subscribe button. I am wishing you the best. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Goodbye.